did you have any apprehensions about doing this movie, which in which, of course, Manav Kaul has the author-backed role? You know, he's the titular character there.
No, not at all. I mean, I select a film because I always see the credibility of the script. And I thought that Manav was great casting for that part. I had seen his work before, and even when I read with him and we were reading the script together, I knew that he was going to be able to pull this off really beautifully. He was extremely nervous to do it, but I knew that he would be able to justify it. And it's such a challenging part for an actor, if that role. And so that was great. And I thought that all the actors had terrific parts. So, no, it isn't like, oh, okay, this guy's got the author back part because he's going to go through that transition. No, I mean, each character goes through his own transition. And for me, Sid Jaising was a very, very important part of the script. He was and I realized that I had to play him. Yeah.
So how do you look at OTT for somebody who's been a steady part of cinema? Do you see OTT as a co-partner, or do you see it as a threat?
Threat? No, not at all. In fact, I think it's a boon. It's a boon for creative people. It's a boon for so many storytellers who do not get the opportunity to necessarily have a box office release, a theatrical release, because they think out of the box. They think differently from filmmakers who have a complete grasp on an audience that is a theater-going audience, or films that are released theatrically. This has been a boon for them in a way that today you have a platform where you get that talent to showcase their work. In the process, what happens is that the audience that is watching, starts looking and viewing films in a different way, because they were not exposed to filmmakers like this. They were not exposed to stories like this. They were not, given the opportunity to even decide if they like something like this or not. So I think it's a great platform where a lot of people are going to get recognition. These people have the same craft as people who make films anyway. We all have the same craft. There's nothing different about how we go about shooting a film on OTT or if we're shooting a film for a theatrical release. The process is exactly the same. But I think what's going to happen is that audiences are going to now start expecting these filmmakers also to come and, explore the bigger screen. And vice versa. There will be a lot of filmmakers who were restricted and wanted to say something a lot more, but were restricted because of censorship and because of the pressure of box office, that they couldn't really open up and tell the stories that they wanted to tell in the manner that they wanted to tell it, as a storyteller. And OTT gives them that platform to come and display their work there in whatever what they want to say and do without that pressure.
But do you think it'll raise the bar for cinema as well?
I think cinema keeps raising its bar for itself anyways. As soon as the audience, it's up to the audience. When the audience starts to accept and, like work which is different, which is of a certain quality, which has not gone over their heads, like we used to say, people are not going to get it or not going to understand it. But when an audience gets bigger and gets more into accepting different kinds of work, automatically people start experimenting, people start, doing things which are, not the run-of-the-mill or cliche stuff, that starts looking like cliches, and those things start to stick out like sore thumbs. So, yeah, I think so. I think when as the audiences keeps changing, filmmakers have to keep changing with the times. Actors have to keep
And
changing
an
with the
actor,
times.
how an actor also has to change with times.
All of us do. All of us do.
And
And that
20 years into the cinema, how do you look at your journey? Do you think you've arrived where you intended to?
I think so. Yeah, I'm quite satisfied. Not totally satisfied, but satisfied enough to be in a position where I have choices. Choices where I can choose and say, okay, this is what I want to do, and this, no, thank you.
But you've been part of some super hit films, of course, in supporting roles, and the credit went to the main heroes, like be it Dawn or be it Om Shanti Om. So, does that rankle you?
No, not at all. As I said, I work in films which I believe in the script. If I like that character for me will be memorable, and I'll be proud of it. Um, I'll do it. But I really need to be excited about that. And I really need to believe in what I'm doing. If I don't have that belief, I wouldn't do it. And I really don't think that any one person can take a credit for a film, its success or its
Yeah,
failure.
yeah.
I really do believe that that's things which are things which get sensationalized in interviews, or people look at it like that and say, oh, he's taken the credit for this, but this guy was really good. But the minute they're saying this guy is really good, that guy was very much part of the film. And if that guy was not in the film, maybe the film would not be that good. And similarly, if that guy was not in the film, then the film wouldn't be that good. Or if the director hadn't taken these two, maybe the film had not been so good. Or if the director hadn't directed it in that way, it wouldn't have been so good. So there's so many permutation combinations to it. And so with success or with failure, I do believe that whoever's been in the part of that film, from the biggest of roles to the smallest of parts, okay, each and every person has to contribute. And that is filmmaking, and in every department.
But you've been part of Ritu Parna Ghosh earlier, and it went to Toronto Film Festival. Today, actors and everyone makes so much out of films going to festivals. Do you think you did not sell yourself as an actor?
I don't sell myself even now.
Yeah, yeah, that's why. I mean, do you think
I'm not
that was
for.
wrong choice?
No, I'm not for sale. uh,
Okay. And you're whenever now, of course, subtle acting is very much in. Anyone who doesn't overdo is considered a great actor. But when you started off, maybe theatrics were more in, and so many dismissed your acting as not good enough. So were you bothered about that?
yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how to explain that. I mean, yeah, there was a time when I just joined the film industry where, one had to be really, really loud in the way they, or every emotion had to be seen on the face. There's very little of internalizing and a lot of external, thing, which becomes, I think, kind of superficial after a point in time, and people kind of see through it. So yeah, I am not that kind of an actor. It did take me time to find filmmakers and scripts which kind of gelled with my mindset of how and my process of work. And that's why when you ask me after 20 years, how do I feel really, really grateful that I have found that space and people have seen me in that space, and that kind of those are the kind of films and those are the kind of people I get to work with. So yeah, in fact,
And
I just did.
critics.
In fact, I just did a movie with Abbas Mustan, and I really wanted to do a movie with them as well. And even them, I thought maybe it's going to be very different, working with them, because it's going to be a lot of high-speed shots and, very stylized.
Right.
Yes, they are extremely stylized, but the film that we've done, when you see it, it's so real, and they've done it so beautifully,
Which one is
and
this?
it's called Penthouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
critics have been sometimes kind to you, sometimes very unkind. Do critics matter?
I think if criticism is constructive, if it's constructive criticism, which, so if I criticize something, for example, I mean, and if I have a solution for it, right? If I put my viewpoint as to why I'm criticizing, and it's not just criticism said to sensationalize, but it is criticism which is constructive, then I think that's extremely beneficial. In fact, in this movie that I did once, movies give you a lot of messages. It was In Car, and
Right.
in that, in the end, he says, my father always told me that if somebody proves you wrong, okay, befriend them. So make them your best friend, because they are going to only be saying the truth. So if there is truth in it, I mean, it's more than acceptable. But if sometimes it is done out of, you know, you having had a uh, bad interview with them, or not taken their call, or some kind of thing which is being taken out on you on review, and that's
First,
not cool. So and that happens. That also happens. It's not that it doesn't happen. It does exist and does happen. There are people who influence a lot of ways reviews written. So yeah. So which ones are the good ones, and
so if
which
it's
ones are.
personal,
Yeah,
if
so
it
you
is
just don't
personal,
take that.
it bothers
Yeah,
you.
you just put that away. You go, oh, this guy, I don't even read him. He must have written a bad review. And if that person has written a good review about you, then you've really done a good job.
So, okay, tell me, you have a part Sikh mother. Tell me about your Punjabi roots.
So yes, my father's Punjabi, was full Punjabi. He's a Hindu Punjabi, and my mom was half Sikh and half Dutch. So, and they both came from
Right.
army.
So, any particular place in Punjab you belong to?
Yeah, so we are more from Hoshiarpur side, and
Right.
but I have not really been there. I've gone to Chandigarh, and I've gone to Patiala, and I've gone to all these places, but haven't really been there. Gone to Ludhiana, but not to Hoshiarpur. But my I grew up more or less in Delhi, because my grandparents by that time had moved to Delhi. So I used to go for my holidays there. And my maternal side of the family was in Jabalpur, which is where I was born. So I used to go there a lot. But I lived in Devlali. So all over.
Anything Punjabi in you? And
I think my taste buds.
what do you like?
Oh, I love makki ka roti, makki di roti and saag, sarson ka saag. That's my favorite dish.
All right. But I mean, your
And I really miss
physique shows that
my, uh, I really
you
miss
don't
my
eat
dadi.
much.
Anji?
I said your physique doesn't say that you eat a lot.
Oh no, I eat a lot. I eat a lot.
And can you speak Punjabi?
I mean, I can understand it, but not speak it fluently.
No. So you're coming with your autobiography, I believe.
No, that was just like I should write an autobiography. It was. I'm not coming with an. In fact, after this news came out, like somebody's written that and made the. I'll write an autobiography. Yes, I will maybe at one point in time, but not right now. Uh, I've had like 16 phone calls from different people saying, "Come on, let us publish this or let's do this." And so, yeah.
Okay. So will it be a tell-all thing, a candid one, just the actor in you will surface?
I have no idea. I've not thought about it, but I think if it is, then it has to be, real, because that's what I believe in.
Hmm. And you're also coming in Dhaka, I believe.
Yes, that is true.
Mhm. So how is it going to be working with the Dhakar woman of the industry, Kangna Ranaut?
I don't know. I mean, we have worked together before. It'll be good. She's a great actor, and I look forward to it.
And as a producer, you have some plans.
So, there's a web series that I want to do. I can't talk about too much about it, but it's kind of done. It will be with Z5, and that's one thing which I'm really looking forward to. It's got to do with a lot with Punjab, and
Oh.
yeah, and then there's uh, another film that I'm producing right now, which we're working on the script.
And this the one on Punjab, is it going to show the right side of Punjab, the dark side of Punjab?
Can't tell you too much right now.
But and you'll be acting in it as well.
I know. I don't think in this one. Maybe the next one.
Okay. Any plans of turning a director yourself?
Uh, I mean, it's very tempting. I
Hmm.
would. I know that it is tempting, but
Hmm.
that story that I really want to direct, I don't have. I don't know what it would be, and it has to come from my heart. If it's not a story that's coming from my heart, I just don't want to direct for the sake of it.
So you'll write it yourself.
I'd definitely be involved in the writing of it, but yes, I will work with writers to put it together.
So you're a producer. I mean, you can easily direct one. Normally, you can't get a producer for directing a film or a web series.
No, I don't think I'll have an issue with getting anybody to do anything. But the thing is, the issue is about getting the right thing to do.
And
And until
how are you looking at 2021, 2020 wasn't so good for the entertainment industry.
I mean, you see, everybody says it wasn't so good. I mean, it's been good for OTT platforms.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you can't say it wasn't good. It, I think,
Mhm.
has given it a real shot in the arm in terms of its subscription base, in terms of the audience interaction that's happening out there. So that industry has definitely grown. Yes, theater business has taken a big beating, and I hope in 2021 that gets rectified, because that's a very big industry, And for me, watching a movie in the theater is the most romantic thing. It's like just the thought of नहीं ये picture मुझे बड़ी screen पे ही देखनी है. You're taking your friends or family or girlfriend or
Right.
your kids or whoever it is, and you go there.
Mm.
You take popcorn, you sit in this big auditorium surrounded by strangers, okay, and the lights go off,
Mm.
and the big screen with great sound, everything starts off, and you're transported into another world of that storyteller. And I don't think there's any better medium for a
Mm.
storyteller to tell his stories. Because at home, whatever it is, there are a lot of distractions. Your phone will ring,
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody will ring the doorbell, your kid will come running, jump around in front of the TV. So you have to find that right time to go and watch something. So here it is like unintrusive, unintrusive. You can watch it, you're lost. So yeah, for me, and people have spent so much money in the infrastructure of the PVRs, Inoxes, all of them. The Carnival theaters. They've really, really spent. You can see that they've tried to create a place where people can come and get entertained. And so yeah, it breaks my heart that and I hope that they can survive it for
But
however long.
have you watched any after the cinema halls have reopened?
No, I'm too scared to go there myself. I mean, I would like to go and support it, but I have a 1.5-year-old child at home. So for me to go out there and put myself into that level of thing would be kind of irresponsible as a father. So therefore, I mean, the Tenant was out, and I wanted to go see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I heard it's really, really good, and but we see the little baby, and we're like, no, can't do that. So you have to make your sacrifices there, and I think that's an important thing. The virus is
But
still there.
being a father once more is a great thing, no?
It's the best thing in the world.
2020 will be a game changer in the world of entertainment.
2020, 20201.
No, because of 2020, things will change dramatically.
I hope not. I hope that we go back to normal. I was more comfortable in our past lives than in our present lives.
Okay.
So, and I think
Right.
be able to go to restaurants, meet people, have people over, socialize a little bit, just be free to take your kids around anywhere you want to take them and not be scared about their health or your parents or whoever.
So
So
what is that
I think
one thing you missed during lockdown or during
was
this
that
pandemic?
I think that was the freedom that you have to just go out there without the fear of catching a disease, which you could give to other people, and which is highly contagious. I think that was like that fear is something which took away your freedom, and so it's your freedom that you really miss.
Right. Right. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Arjun, and all the best in your future projects.
And to you, and a happy
Yeah.
new
Hope
year.
to see you more and
Stay-
more. Thanks.
Thank you, and stay safe.